The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
Good morning and welcome to Cowboys Storyline. It's Friday, September the 27th, and the Cowboys had a big win, I would say, against the Giants last night, a few hours ago, whatever it was. It was Thursday night. Cowboys defeat the Giants 20-15. I call it a big win because they're 1-2. They're 1-2 and struggling to figure out what this team is, what this defense looks like. Can they score? Can they run the ball? Can they play together? Can they come together as a team? And the fact that they were able to do that, get the win, do it in the fashion that they did, it was a big win. I mean, to get to this mini bye, 10 days off at 2-2, way better than the alternative, obviously. And it was not always pretty, except for the win, and that counts the most. So good job for this team, kind of figuring it out on the run. I call it a very long, short week because that's what it felt like. I mean, this team kind of pointing fingers at each other, bickering. They need to do this, details. We need to get all these things, accountability, leadership, practice better, all these habits, and they figured out a way to get on the road and beat a Giants team that's, has not, the Giants aren't very good. They're probably not going to be good, but I think this is what we can expect for the Cowboys team. These games are going to be grinded out games. I don't think the offense is good enough to pull away. The defense is, just good enough to kind of bend but don't break. That's exactly what they were last night. They bent a lot, but they never broke. They never gave up a touchdown. You're not going to lose a lot of games if you don't give up a touchdown. So it was just one of those hard-fought NFC East type of games. The Cowboys, I credit the Cowboys for showing a lot of fight, a lot of grit, especially on defense, to battle through the stuff that they had to battle to win that game. So good job for them. And I know everybody's a little bit relieved to get a game like that. All right, 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, Nick.
Morning.
Oh, that was it's so much easier to call in after a win, man.
Agreed. It's easier to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I want to ask before I forget, the young man that had the game-winning interception, how do you pronounce it?
Ammani Awarier.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Al Michaels was kind of, how sometimes you mumble a little bit if you're not sure where you're going with a name.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I got from the national broadcast. I was like, I wonder if that's really how that is. So I appreciate it. And, I thought, of course, Zim hasn't called to ask me my opinion yet, but I thought he did enough to maybe get himself above Booth in the depth chart. I mean, he had the tackle for a loss. He looked a little bit better than Booth out there. And, Booth, of course, has got all the pedigree with where he was drafted and everything, but he just looked a little bit better in the second half than Booth did in the first half.
There's no doubt about that, and they knew that going in. I mean, that's why they promoted him at halftime. Awarier gets the call at the half, and he's played a lot more football, and this is a guy that got 6 interceptions in a season with the Lions a couple of years ago, so he can play. He had some injury issues last year, but he looked a lot better as the game went on, and I without a doubt, that's something I think you gotta move him up now. I wouldn't put him on the practice squad again. I mean, I don't know how all that works specifically, but I'm not putting him back on the practice squad.
You think somebody might poach him,
Well, teams need corners all the time. I mean, I would flip that, and you can put Booth there if you want. Teams can take him. I would make that flip for sure. Now Booth is a pretty good tackler. That's one thing I have noticed about him. He's not a bad tackler for the cornerback position, but he does struggle to give up some plays, and he did early on in the game.
Cool. Yeah, I agree, man. Well, and I'm not going to throw out an old-time player this week because I was going to ask your opinion, if you could give us just a quick update on whatever you know about injury status for everybody.
Okay.
Bland, Carson, Tank, Parsons, whatever you know, maybe seal it all up in one
right.
little blurb here. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for the awareness of the day and the call and all that stuff. I appreciate that. Brian, injuries, big part of it. I'll start with Parsons. I mean, again, it's as we tape this, it's early on Friday. Guys are just kind of getting back, and a lot of the guys haven't even come into the facility yet. My understanding, X-rays were negative on his ankle. They're hoping it's not a high ankle sprain, of course. Hoping against that. Just the sound of Micah talking, it sounded like it wasn't going to be too bad. I would be surprised if he doesn't play against Pittsburgh. I'll be surprised if he misses a game. I think if I had to put money on it, I would say maybe he has a better shot of playing than Tank. But then again, Tank also talked in the locker room, felt like told me specifically he'd be fine. He goes, I'll be fine. It's a sprained foot. We'll see how it goes with him. Carson, if you're doubtful for the last game, 10 days later, I would think you have a shot to play. So that's where I think about Carson. And then if I'm missing any other injury, but Bland, you said Deron Bland, he's eligible to come back he's eligible to come back and be on the roster this week. I have a hard time thinking that's going to happen. Remember, this is a 6 to 8 week injury. It's been 6 weeks. So this would be on the front end. Just because of what we haven't seen yet, haven't seen him on the cords a ton. He is getting back into it, and we see some of the rehab, but not to the point where you would think he's ready to go. I'll be surprised if he is ready for Pittsburgh on that one. But, all right, let's go to Irene in Falls Church, Virginia.
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Hi.
Good morning, Chris. Hey, tough win. Our offense really needs to get it going. But, hey, props to the defense. They made me look stupid playing Devin Singletary. I thought he was going to crush it, but I am happy for that. One thing I got to say, I live outside of Washington, and everyone was ready to crown them as, maybe even winning the division after beating the 0-2 Bengals and now 0-3. They only beat the Giants on the strength of 7 field goals, 21-18. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah.
So let's pump the brakes. Maybe the Giants' defense is better than we are giving them credit for, and I don't know. Just let's pump the brakes and give them some credit. Awarier, hey, I have the pronunciation right when I called in. I was excited about that signing. Glad you asked to clarify that. It felt good to hear it. I'd like to see him definitely above Booth going forward. My poor man, he's still really great at tackling, but he shouldn't have so much practice at tackling.
Right.
And then my one question is, why is Israel Mukuamu like cornerback 6 or 7 on this team? All right, that's it.
Right.
Happy for the win, but it's rough.
All right.
Bye.
I guess being in Virginia, people are talking a lot about Washington. I haven't heard that they needed to pump the brakes on that. I mean, I get it. They've won a couple games, but I don't know who. I mean, I guess there's people that are excited about it, but it's a long season. There is some good excitement. I'm sure there should be. I mean, Dan Quinn, he's done a good job at places he's been, and they have a quarterback that seems he's fun to watch. He's a rookie. He's going to have some issues too, but Cowboys will face him when they face him. But I mean, you're right. The Giants' defense was it. They're tough. They're tough to score against. They play a bend but don't break style as well, but they did have a couple. There was a couple of big plays, especially the one to CD for the touchdown that opened things up. But to answer your question on Mukuamu, because he's the 6th, 7th corner, because he's really a safety. He's that in between safety corner, special teams guy. So we'll see when Bland comes back and how that changes things. But yeah, I'd put Awarier. Boy, I had it going, and then every once in a while you just kind of mess it up. Jordan Lewis calls him AO. Sounds good to me. I like that. Ayo. I'd put him on the team though. I mean, I'm not messing around with corners on the practice squad. I mean, you're gonna go in and without really practicing a whole lot and play a half of football and play pretty well. I'm fine with that. I'd put him on the team. All right, Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
Hey,
Good
Rob.
morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. I mean, listen, like somebody, you don't apologize for a win, but it was ugly. I mean, the refs had a lot to do with it too. I mean, trying to watch that game, the flow was just awful.
Yeah, you're right.
The guys that they lost is really affecting this team. You know, you don't realize how good these guys are till God. Fowler, Armstrong, and Hankins leaving has wrecked this defensive line. Those were good pass rushers. They would, Armstrong, you pencil in for 6-7 sacks. We have no pass rush. And Micah is getting beat up. I thought Micah said to himself yesterday, I'm going to play the run. If you notice, the RPO never happened because Micah stayed home.
Yeah.
But what's happening now is he's getting worn down. I always said he was too small. He's getting beat up, and then when it is time to rush the passer, he's not explosive. And they have nobody else. DeMarcus Lawrence, he doesn't look the same. And Nealand is not a pass rusher. And that's Daniel Jones had just way too much time. That's what really affected the defense. Against the run, they were excellent, but when you try to stop the run that much, you're gonna, put guys. Offensively, Guyton was killing us. I mean, I think this kid, when you watch him, and it's hard to just watch him, I think next year he'll be good, but this year, no. He looks slow, and speed rushes are going to dominate him. And I just think that's it. How nice would it be to have Tyron Smith? Because I think that would be a huge, or even any left tackle that is a veteran, I think would really help this team, and I don't see you getting one of them. I thought Mike McCarthy again. I just don't. First of all, his offense is there's no motion at all. It's like he totally took it out of the offense, and why I don't know. But I actually thought Dallas was running the ball the best last night than all year.
Yeah.
And then when we needed it on 3rd and 1, when we could have put this game away, he tries to reverse. And it's like you went for it on 4th and 1 with Lipke. Lipke made a great play, or he was going to be short. I don't know.
I don't know that play. I don't know what that play you're talking about on a reverse.
So when we held them to 4th down, then we get the ball back. It was 3rd and 1. There was about 4 minutes left.
Uh-huh.
It was the series before the Giants went on 4th down and Neighbors dropped it on the sideline and then looked like he was laid out on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have put the game away. You score a touchdown there, this game's over.
Yeah.
And on 3rd and 1, he runs a reverse and we lose. And that's when I believe Aubrey showed that he was human and he missed the field goal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that. But there was a reverse to CD in the fourth quarter on 2nd and 6 at the Giant 21, and he lost a yard. That I thought that might be the one you're talking about, but
no. I'm talking about the one. There was one after that.
Okay,
there was one after that.
All right, we don't need to go through all that.
I just don't know how you. Unfortunately, a lot of these things you can't fix it this year.
Okay.
You can't fix your left tackle. You can't get pass rushes. Nobody's giving those up. Running, like I said, Zeke actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But this is not a good team. It's too much of a struggle to do what they have to do, and unfortunately, I think next year hopefully they'll be better. But I just don't. But their issues, I don't see them being fixed this year.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't agree. And thanks, Rob. I mean, whether or not they're going to get fixed this year or not, or whatever, like, it's irrelevant to me when we haven't even hit October. So I know I took some flack for the last what day was that? Tuesday we got a call and the guy said it wasn't going to get fixed, and we moved on. I mean, there's enough people that want to get in on the shows that want to talk about this game and the next game and in this month and all that. So that's fine, Rob. I know you'll call back. You'll be there. Like if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. That's fine. It may not get fixed this year, or I don't know what fixed is. I don't know what the expectations are. This is what the season's probably going to be. It's going to be this type of game, this type of season. They're going to have to battle out these games. It's going to be fun. I mean, that's why I look at it. I mean, it's not probably not a 12-5 type of season, but I give them a lot of credit for how they won that game. And that's why I live in the moment, guys. I've said it a billion times. That's why I don't look ahead and try to say they're going to be in the playoffs, they're going to have a bye, they're going to do this. They're going to go to New York and play, and they're going to try to win, and they did. And next week they're going to Pittsburgh, and we'll see. I hope Pittsburgh wins this week, whoever they play, because I don't think they're anywhere close to as good as their record. So it'd be nice if they are 4-0. I think that would be good for the Cowboys to go up there and play them. But a lot of stuff mentioned there. I don't think anybody was saying, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, and Hankins. I mean, losing them was going to hurt the team. I'm sure it's hurt some, but don't forget. I mean, Sam Williams was supposed to be a really, really big part of this pass rush, and he got hurt in training camp. I mean, that was very unfortunate. But Sam Williams, the juice that he brings off the edge, they certainly missed that. All right, let's go to Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Not much, man. I always call. I be talking about the linebackers and the big boys up front, and I want to give a shout out to Mozzie because he looked like he had a chip on his shoulder and he was playing as hard as possible. So I give a big shout out to him and Overshown and the linebackers behind him. Hopefully we can build off of that and make something happen because he showed a lot of fight. And outside of that, I hope Lawrence is okay, and I hope Parsons is okay.
Sure.
But I don't stay too long. I want to give a shout out to the offense. I'm starting to it irritates watching them get bogged down in the second half. It's almost like that first half they kind of got a plan, and then the second half is like they don't. It's almost watching them like they don't have any adjustments, and they get bogged down too much. But I mean, hey, we got a couple scores out of it. The defense stood up tall, and we're not talking about 300 yards worth of rushing. So I'm cool with that. Like you said earlier, I'll take this win, even if it was ugly. We can look at the film, learn from it, and get ready for the Pittsburgh. So
all right, Lewis.
I'll get it later.
Thank you. Mozzie did play well. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do at that position is push people back, make plays, run to the ball, clog up lanes. Take on double teams and win some battles. He did, and the linebackers played better. I mean, think about it. Mozzie and Onosa played better. Overshown, Kendricks flying around, making all kinds of plays to the ball. I think Overshown had 9. Kendricks had 13 tackles. That's a product of your defensive tackles doing a good job. All right, we're going to take our first break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back to answer more calls.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Alltech Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alltechlansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Alltech Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Captain Morgan is looking for nominees for the Fan of the Year. You can win prizes and trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Let's keep it rolling here. Bob in Rio Grande Valley is our next caller. Bob, what's up?
Morning, Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little encouraged after what I saw last night. If you remember a few weeks ago, I said that this was a young team. And it was going to take a while for it all to come together. And I see some improvements in some of the players. I see some backsliding in some of the players. Not necessarily backsliding, but having a hard time learning all the intricacies of what they're expected to do, like Tyler Guyton. He did not have a good night. He didn't. But I think the coaching staff will keep working with him and work that out. What encouraged me last night was the way we stopped the run. And I was also encouraged with this piecemeal running game that we've got. We made Danny Dimes look too good a few times. But as we all know, you give him enough time, if he has to throw the ball enough, he's going to throw it to you, and he sure did.
Yeah.
I think I'm still of the opinion, Nick, and I don't know what you think, but this is almost like a rebuild. We lost so much talent to free agency because of mismanagement of funds, and that's on the front office. That's not on the team. And it's going to take a while for these boys to gel and come together. But I'm encouraged, and I'm curious as to what you think.
Well, I mean, the mismanagement of funds, like, in what way? We
kicked the can down the road too damn many times, and we run out of money. We couldn't keep all that talent that we had. And they became free agents, and now they're playing for somebody else and playing against us.
So you're saying just like finish like 9-8 and don't finish 12-5, like finish like 9-8, 9-8, and so you wouldn't have success then, so you'd be better now. I mean, that's what's kind of weird about that statement is that, I mean, they mismanaged it. They went for it. That's what happened is they went for it and they missed. They got close, but they missed.
Well,
I think if that's mismanagement, then that's what it is. I don't look at it that way. I look at it that they tried, they put in, they tried to get, and they're also signing these players to long term to keep the core. But that's the way I see it is they went for it, and that all this all in stuff. That's what Jerry has been in his mind, kicking the can. That's what it's been, and it's all led to kind of right here, and it doesn't look like it's going to.
We're going to have to pay the price for it.
Yeah,
for a while.
100%.
And we're doing that.
Yeah.
And if we'll just keep our cool, keep our heads together, stay behind our Cowboys, eventually, if he leaves this coaching staff that he's got intact, they will turn this group of young men into a darn good team. I'm very, very confident of that.
Yeah, I think I think so too. Thanks, Bob. I mean, and again, if you have cap problems, you can say it's mismanagement of cap. I mean, if you don't win, then you didn't manage it the right way. I mean, that you could always make that statement. But I don't know if was there a ton of contracts that you look at and go, oh, I shouldn't have paid him, shouldn't have done that. I mean, I think the Cowboys are doing what they had to do to try to win, and there hadn't been a lot of guys that have just left that you're like, man, that was a bad move. I mean, you can make that argument with Ammari, but they re-signed a few players. A few core players in the absence of getting rid of him with that money. All right, let's go to Mike in Apopka, Florida. Mike, what's up, bud?
Hey, Nick. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you? First caller ever
Good.
On the show on Cowboys StoryLine. First, he's the trivia question answer. First caller ever.
I appreciate that. Listen, I want to thank you and Chris and you guys. I know you late night, early morning, and you're right here on the show.
Yeah.
Letting the fans have a voice. And I know you probably are lacking sleep, but I want to let you guys know I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you saying that because I'm working on about 2 hours. Beam, I don't even know. Probably about the same. Because the thing is, the kids, their schools don't change. Their hours don't change when the dads come in at 5 in the morning. It's all right.
And you guys, listen, win, lose, or draw, you guys are there for us. I appreciate you, man. So, a couple of quick things I had. Listen, a win is a win. I'll take it. I really feel like, from a defensive standpoint, we have to improve our safety play. Donovan Wilson is not good. He misses too many tackles, takes some bad angles, isn't great in coverage. I mean, I feel like if he had tackled Singletary yesterday or last night, that game would have been over right then and there.
It's a blowout.
I really believe that. Yeah.
I believe that too. I believe that was the biggest play for that game to change the course of the game, because I think the Cowboys win by 3 touchdowns if he makes that tackle.
And as a safety, you got to make that tackle.
That's his play.
They didn't even block him.
I know. It was a perfectly called play, and I think wasn't the broadcast circling him like before the snap? Like, was that Herb Street or whatever? I don't know why they were circling him. Like, watch out for him, and it was executed perfectly, and he just missed it.
Yeah, he's just too undisciplined for me. I would put Thomas in there because I think he's a better tackler, and I think he can do all the same things. Just my opinion. A couple other things. I think the rookies. Listen, when you play all these rookies, Leofau and Beebe and Guyton, these guys are going to have bumps and bruises. You got to stick with them, and you got to support them, and hopefully as the year progresses, they get better and better and better. And that should be, even Overshown is, to me, a rookie still.
Yeah.
So we should see an improvement there. The last thing, Nick, I think with this offense, the defenses are just, they're not like worried about the run, so they're stifling the passing game, and I think that's why there's not a lot of shots downfield. And I think like Cooks is just not that guy anymore. I think we either have to trade for a wide receiver or trade for a running back with some speed that can just, crap this defense, these defenses, and open up the field for the CD and Ferguson to work.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the call. I don't know if they're going to be making trades for. They're definitely going to be making a trade for a receiver. I can't see that, but. I mean, maybe a running back. They did piece it together a little bit. I thought one of the most impressive runs was a 7-yard run by Zeke at the end of the game. I thought, now he's fresh, of course, but 3:21 to go. You take over and at the Giants' 45-yard line, and on first down you get 7 yards. That really led to the Giants getting the ball back with 28 seconds to go. You get 2 yards there. You're going to have to punt and then try to pin them down there, or maybe take a long field goal or whatever. But getting 7 yards there, I mean, that was able to take it off from 3:21 all the way down to 28 seconds. So big kudos to that play right there, because it's hard to run the ball in general, especially when they know you're going to run for this team. It's a nice play there. All right, let's keep it going. Rick in Massachusetts.
Hey, Chris, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I'm more of like a even kill positive guy. I thought the game, it's a good win, even though we had our issues with a few people. But I thought the using of the running backs the way they did with Rico first, and then throwing in Zeke here and there, and using Lipke on certain plays, I thought that was good. Mozzie looked good too. That looked good, and I like Booth. I think he's probably Awarier would probably be him, or McQuamo should take his spot. But I think we did good well. Just look forward to what Pittsburgh brings.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Micah and D'Lo will be back to help out that. But
all right, Thanks for the call, Rick. I mean, kind of summed it up really quickly there. Appreciate that. And I don't disagree with any of that. Obviously you hope the guys get back healthy, and they need their pass rushers for sure. Everybody does, and they certainly need theirs. Awarier, it's impressive. I like the way he came in and played. I mean, he was professional. The way he looked like a guy that's played in this league 4 or 5 years. He did a nice job, and I could see, they're gonna have to do something when Bland comes back. Again, I don't know if it's this week, but it'll be sooner than later. All right, let's go to Rex in Frisco, Texas. Rex.
Yes, sir. How are you?
How we doing? Right down the street.
Yes, sir. I was just going to 3 quick hits, and then I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
First, let's not forget AO was a starter with Detroit and had 6 interceptions not only 2 years ago. So he's not just some guy off the street. He's a decent cornerback in the league. We'll see where he goes from here, but definitely a solid backup. Second, Zeke, he also had a 9-yard run washed away by a penalty. And his numbers wouldn't be awful as a role player runner if it wasn't for that 4-yard loss on his basically second to last carry that they had a run blitz on. And then third, Tyler Guyton has 3 holding penalties where he's been beaten to the inside. I'm sure Solari is well aware of that, but how easy, this is really where my question is, how easy of a fix is that when the holding penalties come from being beat on the inside? What's the adjustment? How quick is it to say, don't get beat inside? Love what you're doing, Nick. Take it easy. I'll talk to you later. Or listen.
All right. Thank you, Rex. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's a good observation in there about getting beat on the inside. He's just got to learn, Tyler Guyton. He's got to learn how to play in the NFL. Simple as that. And what that means is learn what these guys are trying to do to him. Learn the moves. Everybody's got their own pass rush moves. Learn how the officials call the games. Learn how to hold. Everybody holds. You do it better where you don't get called. I mean, that's simple. Well, it's not simple as that, but I mean, that's part of it. And when you draft a first-round pick late in the first round tackle, he's not top 5, not top 10. He's where he drafted where he is. He's a project, and he's going to have to get better and learn on the run and not get super frustrated. And I know that he did. It was a frustrating game for him. They can't help at every play, but they're going to leave him out there some. He's going to have to just learn on the run. This is what it is. I mean, at left tackle, there's no bringing Chuma Edoga back when he's healthy again and Guyton's the guy, and he's got to keep playing and get better, and I think he will. All right, let's go to Tim in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good victory. Not a great victory, but a good victory. But a victory is a victory, and they're hard to come by in the NFL. I love the fact that we competed in this game. I always, as a coach, I've always taught my kids one word, that's compete. Mm-hmm. And while I do not want to see anybody hurt or injured, I love the fact that some of our 2s, 3s, even our 4s stepped up and made contributions. That's I was really impressed with that. Yeah. And I was really impressed with we had an uptick in our run defense and our running game. Although I would have loved to have seen us, try and stick with the run a little more. That's just my opinion of that. And Overshown really impressed me last night.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid was everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I got, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Overshown, I thought one of the key plays, I write the article, 5 plays. Don't forget these 5. I thought one tackle that he made at the 3-yard line, that I think it led to their 4th field goal. It was, they got to 12 at that point. And it was a great play. He made a tackle there because I think it was on Wan'Dale Robinson, who caught 47 passes in the game for like 50 yards. I mean, he caught just enough passes, but yeah, he caught a pass there on the left sideline, and Overshown made the tackle at the 3-yard line, and he didn't drag him to the 1. Okay, it was boom, hit him at the 3, down. And the Giants had no choice but to kick field goal. I think if it's a little closer, maybe they go for it. Maybe they grab, the lead at that point. But I thought that was a big tackle, and the Cowboys just kept bending, never broke. Overshown's a big reason for that. Let's go take our last break here on the Storyline. We'll be right back to take a few more calls.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York. Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Cowboys are taking on Pittsburgh Steelers on October the 6th. We're hosting a free watch party presented by 7-Eleven at the Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium. Get your free tickets at dallascowboys.com/watch party for more information on that. All right, let's go back to the callers. Gavin is in Oklahoma City. Gavin, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How's it going, man?
Well, I'm tired.
I bet after all that traveling, I hope the show's been at least somewhat positive.
Yeah, I mean, got that W. I mean, got that win. I mean, it's gonna be that kind of year. I really believe that. It's just, I thought they were gonna blow out the Giants. They probably should have. They didn't. That's there's gonna be some games we thought that they would win. They don't. And maybe flip, the other way too. That's what the beauty of the NFL is. It's gonna be that kind of season, I think.
Right, and not everything in life comes pretty, I guess, but I love my boys and I love when they win, and I'm going to enjoy the season regardless. I don't care if we lose every damn game. I'm going to turn my TV on and enjoy being a fan. That's just me. But here's a few things I got for you. So a couple of player questions. Do you think maybe a light bulb might have flipped in Mozzie's mind?
I think so.
On top of that, I wanted to ask you, do you think Brandon Cooks might be deteriorating a little bit, or maybe he's just having a slow start? I love Brandon Cooks, but I just haven't seen, what I expected to see so far. And my other question is, what do you think about the opening script and the closing play calls? Because personally, I haven't been a fan, but it's hard for me to gauge. I'm not by any means a coach. I'm sitting looking at my TV saying, I wish we do this, I wish we do that. But, at the end of the day, I'm just a fan on the couch. So I wanted to hear your perspective. And I wasn't a fan of the conservative play calls at the end. You might have been a fan of it because it wasn't necessarily wrong. It's just like, I think if you're paying your QB $60 million, and I'm a fan of him getting that money, I'm by no means saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, if you're going to pay him that much money, then I want to put the game in my QB's hands to go get a first down and take a knee. That's just me. But I'll get off of here, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, not me. Not me at all. We've done that. We've seen that Seattle game last year. We've seen it in Detroit game last year. It's not just about $60 million quarterback. It's the receivers and whoever's open, make the catch, make the play. It's about 40 seconds off the clock. That's what you've got to do. You got to take 40 seconds. 40 seconds is more important, because it's a risk reward. Yeah, pass the ball, catch it, make the play, game over. Doesn't happen that way. It's a tight coverage. They're not going to call PI like that. They weren't calling pass interference, really. So they're not going to call it there at the very end of the game. So you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt there. You've got to be perfect and to make this throw, make this catch. And the smart play is to run the ball and try to get the first down, try to get, and Aubrey makes the field goal. And Aubrey didn't. Where I think McCarthy made a mistake, call a timeout with 1 second to go. 1 second on the play clock. Don't let it run out there, and then the clock's running down, and then they're having to try to bleed the clock and then kick it with 4 or 5 seconds. Just call a timeout with 1 second to go. Kickers don't. You're not gonna freeze your own kicker. Kickers don't. They're sitting there all day long, and so they can wait a few more minutes. It's not a big deal. What's a big deal is rush out there, having the clock roll down, and then try to kick. Just bleed it all the way down to 1. Call a timeout, and think about that. I think he makes the kick if you do that. He's calm. He's under pressure. He kicks the kick. They go up 8. Even if you don't, you would have saved 5 more seconds. And I know that you don't think that's a big deal, but imagine the difference between 28 seconds and 23 seconds with the team has no timeouts. I mean, personally, I would just do that. I don't know why they didn't just bleed the clock to 1 second, call timeout, and then kick the field goal. But that's the only thing. I mean, I had no problem with the way they ran the ball and ran that clock. I thought they did a nice job of taking about 2.5 minutes off. All right, let's go. Oh, wait, we got a couple more calls. We got to do these quick. Jason in New Jersey. Jason, what's up?
Yo, Nick, what's up, man? Good to hear you, man.
You too.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for all that you do.
Appreciate
you
that.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, some of your feedback just makes it sound like you belong on the sideline. To be honest with you, because I totally agree with it. Yeah, of course, man. I completely agree with you on the clock management. It hasn't quite been McCarthy's strong suit. He's been good at times, but it's been a little shaky, and I definitely agree with bleeding the clock down on that.
Jason,
Nick, here's my concern.
Jason, is this your first time call?
I don't call that much. I did call once last year, so this is yeah, this is my first time. Wow.
There we go, Beam. There we go.
Here we go.
There we go. We needed one for the show, anyways. They got the win. We needed at least a one.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Sorry. What's your question?
Nah, you're good, man. Question, comment. Basically the main thing, the glaring thing to me last night. First of all, the positives. Yes, great. I'm glad we got our running game up and going. That was good to see. I think Zeke's going to be fine this year. And I was very happy to see that we stopped the run. That's huge. Albeit it's the Giants, but just take that energy, move it forward. I would love to see our guys continue to do that because we're going to need it for sure.
Yeah.
I was very concerned with the cornerbacks, Nick. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. So much space off the ball. They were playing off these guys. They made Neighbors and the rest of those guys look like 3-time pros. It was crazy. Every time Daniel Jones released the ball, I felt as though he was going to make a play, and he did. He got a lot of yards, and that's where they gashed us. And I get it. You got to give them something. Where we take away the run, they got to have the, they have to have the pass. I think last night I was missing Deron Bland, and I don't know if that is the case or not because last year in Quinn's system, even when we didn't have Diggs, we were still doing great. So I don't know if that's a Zimmer system thing or if that's we really need Bland back. But that was the biggest thing that really stuck out to me. Every time Daniel Jones had time in the pocket, any quarterback would make a play, but it just seemed like every time he threw the ball, he made a connection. I didn't like that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
so,
Jason. I appreciate the call. Sorry, we're gonna have to get them to move on.
You got it, man.
Thank you for the call. No, I hate to rush that, but we got to hit one more caller before we got Cowboys break coming up here in a few seconds. I'll say this: it was bend but don't break. I mean, I'm not worried. I mean, you can't be overly worried about a team that never scored a touchdown. Like you said, he made a lot of plays. He made some plays. They stopped the run. You got to do that. They gave up they pretty much eliminated the big plays. I mean, Booth fell down on a double move, and then Neighbors got deep for early in the game. They really didn't do that again as far as deep balls, and they got him out of the game. They're like, I mean, he can't handle it. He can't do that. He can't stay on his feet, and so that's pretty much what happened there. And yeah, the cornerbacks were it was tough, and they're going to face better quarterbacks than Daniel Jones. We know that. They'll face better receivers than Malik Neighbors, even though he is really, really damn good. I mean, that's a great player. And there's no other college that is the best, that can be receiver you. I mean, are you serious? I mean, they have the two best, two of the best right now, with Chase and Jefferson there, and then of course Neighbors. Wow, I mean, and then they've had Beckham and Landry, in the previous decade. So that's where the receivers come from. It seems like, and Oklahoma. Sorry, CD. All right, let's keep going here. Robbie in Cocoa Beach, Florida, last caller.
What's up, Nick?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, let's roll. I got you.
Nothing, man. Okay, good. Just wanted to say, hey, man, like you always say, we got to live in the moment and enjoy the ride. We won the game. People are all down and out about our offensive linemen and our run game still. I know I talk bad about the run game.
It was enough. It was enough.
But it was enough.
It was enough.
It was enough.
Game.
Yep.
But it needs to be better. There's no doubt about it. They've got to run the ball better than that.
I agree. I've been saying it for the last 6 weeks or so when I talk to you. But other than that, man, enjoy the ride. It was a good night, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Couple hours sleep. But hey, you got another question, or is that it?
Same question I got every time. You think we're going to do anything with our running back position?
Okay. Thank you. They said it was a short week. Wasn't the time to bring up Dalvin Cook. It's not a short week next week. I mean, it would make sense to do that. I would like to see it. I don't know exactly how the dynamic would be. Rico did a nice job. Everyone did okay. They found something in Lipke. They found something. I got to give it up to Nick Harris. He's been on the Lipke train since he got here, and he's something. I think he's Kyle Juszczyk from the 49ers, a tight end / fullback, H-back, but he runs the ball better. And don't forget, Lipke led the team in special teams tackles with 2. That was impressive. Just his overall game. So they've got something there. Deuce, that I think Cook probably comes up for Deuce or Zeke. I mean, how many veteran running backs do you need that aren't going to play special teams? So I don't know if you need that. I mean, I still think Deuce needs to return kickoffs. I'm not a fan of the Wanye Thomas back there. But of course, last week they just boomed it out of the end zone. But that's going to change as the season goes on. The weather will change. You'll see more kickoff returns. So that's going to – you can't just say, oh, kick it out of the end zone. When you get to some of these games, swirling winds, they're not going to be able to kick it as far out there. So it's going to – I think the kickoff rule is still to be determined. It's still going to be something to watch. And Turpin, maybe Deuce, Wanye, those guys are going to get a lot more returns. So, all right. Great show, guys. 12 callers. I know you guys had a lot to say. It was a win. It was a win, and it's good to get to the weekend for that. This thing isn't fixed. Okay, the Cowboys team is not. This isn't one that's going to dominate. It's going to be this type of year, but. Again, like I say it all the time, it's going to be a ride. Enjoy the ride. It'll be some bumps and some flips and some turns. You might want to throw up every now and again. It's going to be that kind of year, but buckle up. It's going to be a lot of fun. This one was fun. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get a nap here at some point. Hey, kudos to Chris Beam though. I got one show today. He's got 6 or 7, so he's gonna be doing that all day. Cowboys break will be coming up here in a few minutes. Everyone's tired. Everyone's dragging ass this morning, but hey, it's a lot better to do that after a Cowboys win. Thanks for all the callers. Thanks for a great week. We didn't do a hot take this week, Yeti hot take, so that keeps it hot, keeps it cold. Cowboys are right in the middle at 2-2. All right, we'll see you next week on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?